This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Browne and Michael Uy.
Welcome to the Oakwyn Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Uy.
And I'm Morgan Browne.
And I'm the Podfather.
And we're doing this today.
We're doing a speed pod. This is speed round. And we're going to talk about, obviously because it's our, I don't know if it's our last pod, year end.
Yeah.
And we probably have a little bit more free time. I hope we have some free time. We can kind of talk about some different resources, some things that we can kind of tap into while it's a little bit slow.
Top 5 for each of us. How about that? Top 3.
Top 3? What?
Top 3 things that you recommend to these people. Like what you're reading right now.
Okay, sure.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so you go first.
Okay, so top 3, I'm going to talk about books. So top 3 books. Number 1 book I learned most from last year was Atomic Habits by James Clear. So that's a fantastic read about building up the right systems and putting those into place for your life, whether that's health, business, et cetera, et cetera. That book is awesome. We featured it in our book club, and it's really helped to shape quite a number of things. Second thing I've been thinking about and kind of trying to absorb stuff from is I'm reading it right now, so I'm halfway through, but it is very interesting. It's more about macroeconomics and stuff like that. It's Ray Dalio's Principles in a Changing World, which talks about the changing of maybe the American empire to the China empire, or maybe even the metaverse empire, which is kind of cool and interesting kind of things to pick up and think about. And third, I've really been...
What?
So I kind of follow, and one of my business role models is Elon Musk. So I've been kind of really following what he's doing and what he's paying attention to.
He was just talking about how we should be making more humans.
Yeah, I read that.
Did you read that?
I'm questionable on that, but if Elon says it...
I know, I'm like, should we be making more humans?
Yeah.
He says that that's the only way that our humankind will actually continue.
Well, I think he's
got 10 kids.
Yeah, so he's very, he's a very interesting person, and I think I don't agree with everything, and I don't think we need to agree with everything
you don't.
People represent. You can pick and choose, but there's a lot to learn from. Obviously, being he is a genius and really following his kind of seeing what he's paying attention to and what he's looking at and how he's his perception on the world. It's just something that's really refreshing, and I'm just kind of looking at it.
So what are you looking at with Elon Musk?
I think it's just how he thinks.
Yeah, just watching him.
How he's he takes an engineering approach to life and to business and to. I don't even think he cares about business. I think he just cares about awesome products and thinking about that.
He's got. It seems like whenever I watch him, he's overwhelmed. He's got so much. Do you know what I mean? When you talked to when he watches on the Joe Rogan podcast, I was watching him. He's like, I've just got so much going on. He's got so much going on in his head.
Yeah. Everything he does is through the prism of getting to Mars. So human society.
He's almost obsessed.
He's obsessed with he's obsessed with human, having a human colony on Mars. So that's everything he does is
what do you think Jeff Bezos is obsessed with? Because he's now put so much into that.
Bezos is just all about, money. I don't know. Yeah, his ego and feeding it. When you hear him talk, he's just so all about himself.
Yeah, there's a bit of, I have really questionable, when somebody's trying to monopolize certain industries and kind of not, it's just everyone has their right to do whatever they want, but I don't buy Amazon stuff. Yeah,
I do because it's super convenient.
I know. There's just
I want to support little shops, and because we're a small business, I want to support those small businesses. I couldn't, I stopped shopping at Costco.
But
I stopped.
So for instance, do you mean that you shouldn't So for instance, our Apple phone. Okay, so now it's become everything. If you want to make a do something in math, you go to your calculator. If you want to book something into your appointments, you book it through a calendar. If you want to get a ride, you go on Uber. Like there's like literally everything on the smartphone, right? Mm-hmm. And like they monopolize that, right? So I'm really into metaverse right now. So I'm thinking about how we are.
I think we have choice still on what we choose to support and not support. And I feel like you can still, although we have some elements of coercion to doing some things a certain way, we're not, technically fixed to making some of those decisions. So like purchasing, yes, like I think so for sure. But then there's like convenience, pure like convenience in your life, right? That you use, that I think that we would just like are supporting that monopolizing power. Is that a good thing though?
No, I don't think so. Like I love buying these like organic onesies for my kids that are like Canadian bound in Granville Island. Yeah. But sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I gotta buy something from Carter's.
I don't think you should feel bad.
You're talking about Parade, right?
Yeah. I love Parade.
Yes, okay.
I love Parade.
I don't think you should feel bad about it, but I think, I think it's, it's just the realization that,
maybe it's the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, you
go
everyone gets to choose, right? And you get to choose what you want, and if you want to, I don't think everything being convenient is a good thing. For example, like having Google answer all your questions doesn't actually help you to learn how to comprehend things. Maybe not learn how to comprehend things as well, and search for information and want wisdom and knowledge. But some people it's kind of all like microwave.
But some people are kind of saying that it actually allows you to be even greater because now everything that is at your fingertips that you can learn it on demand. But like, I'm not saying I believe in that at all, but I'm just saying like people are saying like you actually now can search something super fast, right?
Yeah.
And learn something very quickly. I think our generation of children are going to have like, they're never offline, that's why I'm putting my kid in the school because I like want them to be out of
right.
offline.
Yeah. What are the top 3 things you're learning from now during your reflective period?
Okay, so one is I'm really obsessed with this guy named Dr. Michael Bernard Beckman, and he's a pastor actually, but he's a pastor of like all different faiths, and he's a minister, he's an author, he's a spiritual leader, and he's all about manifestation and using that inner peace to build your abundance in your life. So if the best thing for everyone to get kind of acquainted with Michael Bernard is to go onto the Soul Mondays on Oprah, and he talks about what he thinks about his life visioning for people. And I totally believe in it. It's super powerful. My goal is to get my mom and myself to one of his, my mom loves him too. So it's really great. The second thing is Surrounded by Idiots is a great book.
Okay.
And it's really just about like the 4 types of human behavior and actually effectively communicating this to each of them in your life and business.
4 types of human behavior. Interesting. Okay.
Which is kind of fun. And then lately I've kind of been into, again, I've been mentioning about metaverse. So there's a YouTube channel called The Metaverse is the New Solar System. And I think that is it's a quite a long episode, but I would say it's an interview with what is money, what is money, why money was even made. Like it's cool to hear that, right? The history of why this money is and how it's transformed and where it's going to.
Cool.
That's my 3.
Brayden?
Give me your.
Me? Oh, I get, okay. Well,
I think 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my first, I would say in the last year, through my biggest 3 sources of learning, I've mentioned on the podcast before, but there's another podcast I listen to called, it's called the 6 Figure Creative now, which is basically a business resource for creatives. It used to be called 6 Figure Home Studio, but it's just in general, all creatives, how to build a business. And honestly, I mean, they talk about a lot of the things about how there's this like dichotomy in creative industries between, a lot of people feel if you're making money off your art, you're a sellout. And so there's this big mental mindset block. And there's that is a big resource. Another one is I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Probably my biggest influence this year, because I've been building a business, is one called The E-Myth Revisited.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've heard this.
Yeah, it's like the best.
that.
Like if you're starting
Very poignant.
yeah, if you're, it's anecdotal, right? It's a story about a guy or a girl who's has her pie business, and this guy walks her through how to like take it from being an absolute nightmare because she's trying to scale it into a proper business. So that's been huge for me to like build the business. And then a third one, probably just hanging out with you guys.
Oh, good people.
Let's renew the contract for another year.
Okay.
Every now and then, I mean, it's like, I feel like every week I get like this kind of, it's almost like a business coaching session with you guys. And sometimes Mike will stay a little extra and we'll have a little more booze.
Push.
Yeah.
We need the mic push.
Yeah, it's been awesome, like just kind of listening to you guys and how talk about, just basically how your business is growing and how to teach other
That's what we call
realtors how to grow
being
their
amongst it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's huge. It's like, because you look at my life 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Oh my God.
I wasn't surrounded by people who had successful businesses. It was like all sorts of different people, most of them like doing the 9-to-5 job thing. And now I feel like most of the people that I am surrounded by are entrepreneurs. And like,
How many podcasts do you have now that you're dealing with? Accounts, a lot,
I don't
quite
even
a bit.
know, 12, 13, because there's so many.
Oh my God,
we were number one. Yeah.
Well, you were
Okay, fine, number two.
Yeah, you were number one. Yeah.
I'm happy with 2. I'll take 2.
Yeah, I've got a lot. Yeah, there's just so many in development. I can't even keep
Don't
track
need
of
one.
them anymore. But so there's so many businesses that I work with now, and it's just so awesome to like just absorb all that knowledge and
How powerful is that?
It's amazing.
Being around people like that is everything, everybody.
Yeah, it's
Being
the
around
energy,
very good energy. Yeah,
it's
all about it.
And the mindset of not, just like you were talking about earlier, about not having to like, could I go back to a 9-to-5 job? I don't think so. I couldn't go back to somebody telling me your lunch is from 12 to 1. It's
Right.
like, no, I'm not ready for lunch. My lunch is whenever the hell I want to take it. So.
It's whatever makes you happy. That's not like some people are like really happy with it. I have friends that are like super okay with that. And they like it.
Totally.
They like routine. They like
my
to be
wife,
off.
My wife loves
Boom.
the constant,
Yes.
I know what I'm making each
stability
week.
and-
But I
the
think
security.
the difference is like finding, those people find purpose in a different area.
Totally.
Where entrepreneurs find purpose in their business and amongst their business. It's very different. I mean, it's such a different way of thinking, but be happy. That's all that matters. And I think 2021 has been a great year for everyone. I'm just so happy that we're back. Mike and I had a kid.
Yeah.
We're pumped.
Big year for you
Big
guys.
year for us.
It's been huge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big year.
daughters.
We have some new initiatives that are happening next year for
totally.
Oakwyn, and we're pumped.
There's 2022. Like I'm really excited for it. I think we're, and it's just been such a growth year in 2021, and we're just so thankful for you guys that have listened to the podcast.
Oh my
we're doing a
gosh.
mini pod this week, so we're just thankful for you guys to listen. We've hoped that you've gotten a lot of
useful information.
a few laughs, and just
useful.
hang out about what Oakwyn's all about. Our culture is very similar to the podcast. It's just we want to learn and grow, but also have
Fun.
a good time together as a community. So on that note, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you've enjoyed this podcast,
please rate us 5 out of 5. But also make a note of what you want to hear next year. From us.
that'd be fun.
Go ahead and even if you can't do that, because some people are like, well, how do I figure this out? Please just text Mike or I. Just say what we want to hear about this next year.
Yeah, if you guys are curious
text
about
us.
something,
our numbers.
Unpack it in a podcast. Feel free to reach out to us. And also, if you're interested in Oakwyn, and you're thinking about learning more about our company and being a part of the fam, go to oakwyn.com/join. Type in the message box pod 2021, and for your troubles, you will get a free piece of mystery swag. Okay,
Thanks,
guys, till next
guys.
time. Thanks so much.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.